What up, peeps? It's your girl, Dash, come back to From Real Takes. Well, it's that time, you guys. It's movie news time, and it has been a long minute, since I've done one of these. Now, I will say, I don't do them on a more consistent basis, anymore. But needless to say, every now and then, some things pop up on my radar that I feel like I need to, get some things off my chest. There are some things that I'm actually excited to talk about that are, in the works. So, with that said, let's just go ahead and jump into it. Now, this one. Before I get into it, I know they talked about it. So I'm going to say it's been about almost a month. And granted, some other things that just recently came out, but I really wanted to just give kudos to this one. This whole encompasses Anthony Mackie. I'm a fan of him, and this, of course, has to do with him being, of course, in Captain America 4. Now, when I heard the news, I was so beyond happy for him. Let me just put it truly in context. The first movie I really was introduced to him was when he did the movie Haven back in the day. I want to say 2004. Of course, starred him, Orlando Bloom, and Zoe Saldana and Bill Paxton. I was interested in it because before I was, more for him, it was mostly because I was a fan of Zoe and Orlando and definitely Bill Paxton. And when I saw him in the film, oh God, he just irked me to beyond belief, his character in the film, but definitely left an impression on me. So as time went on, it was a lot of the movies he's done, like, he's been in, what is it, Triple Nine, did The Banker, he did Detroit, The Adjustment Bureau, The Hurt Locker, and of course Sam Wilson, and of course I've seen him more consistently because all of a sudden, I think when he did, what was it, Winter Soldier film, that was when we were actually introduced to him, as the Falcon. So I've been pretty much following his work really since 2004 up until now, and just to see that he, of course, is, from the Juilliard School and all that, and has honed his craft over the years. Probably been doing this a little bit longer, maybe from 2004, maybe at least a good 20 years and all that. So I'm happy for the brother. I'm excited for this one. I know it's just titled right now Captain America 4, truly because this is his film. I am also inclined to wonder, will we see Sebastian Stan? Will he be in this one? I really hope so. That would be nice. But again, this is his film. He has put the work in. And I think Marvel, he's done, what, about 6 of the films? So yes, I'm here for it. I'm really curious to see who else will definitely be casted when this does come out. But kudos to him. Plus, watching him evolve, of course, in that character. I love when they did the Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV series through Marvel and Disney. So good. I so look forward to the second season, if that happens. And I have a feeling most likely it will happen. Besides that, I mean, both of them, Anthony and Sebastian, are very busy guys. They have a lot of stuff coming up. I know Sebastian has a movie. Was it the 355? I know that's coming out. He has some other stuff in the works. Also with Mac, he stays. I know he just recently came out, like I said, with The Banker, and probably some other stuff under his belt as well, because the brother does stay busy. So most definitely happy for him. And just, moving forward, just keep doing your thing. It's always just so lovely to see when it happens. I'm always here, to see people just thriving and just knowing that he put that time in. A lot of people took really to him when he did the TV series. So I think a lot of people are really looking forward to seeing what he can do with the next summer of Captain America. So with that said, I just want to note that part, and just, yeah, I'm just like beyond happy for that. So with that said, moving on. The next one we'll discuss, and I'm excited about this one because I'm a fan of one particular actor in this, but both are in this one. This has to do with another new Stephen King adaptation film, and it's titled Mr. Harrigan's Phone. Now, this is going to be starring Jaden Hartwell and also another favorite for me, Donald Sutherland. Now, of course, I'm familiar with Jaden. He did the movie It, and also he was in the movie Knives Out. But of course, Donald Sutherland being one of my ultimate favorite actors of all time, definitely a fan of his work over the course of, I want to say, almost damn near 30 plus years. I know some of my favorites, like Invasion of Body Snatchers. He did a movie called Clute, which I love. So yes, I could go on about some of his body of work, but those two just, off the cuff are two of my favorites. With this particular one, I'm excited about this one because let me just kind of get into the actual director will be John Lee Hancock. Now the synopsis, let's just jump into that. It says, it follows Craig. It says a young boy who is hired by Mr. Harrigan, an elderly billionaire who has retired in a small town neighborhood. After years of companionship, Craig purchases an iPhone for Mr. Hannigan. Shortly after Mr. Hannigan's death, Craig arranges for the phone, along with a final voicemail, to be buried in his old friend's pocket. In a chilling turn of events, Craig receives a message in return and discovers that not everything dead is gone. And of course, with that little synopsis. And then, of course, again, this is a Stephen King adaptation. Can you just imagine? So I'm truly am intrigued to see this. That gives me just enough that I really am looking forward to when we finally do get a trailer for this one. And yes, again, and I will say this with that, definitely a creepy factor, with Donald Sullivan being in this one and all that, what kind of creepy factor we get when he gets a response back? I'm just like, okay, that's just creepy in itself. So right there, I really am going to want to see this. So keep my eyes out when this comes. Hopefully we'll get some trailer, hopefully before summer, something like this. I don't know if this is going to be something that's pushed to the fall. Don't know. But as time goes on, as I always say, when I know more, you all will know more. So moving on from that. Now this one, I am a fan of Robert Rodriguez. He's done many films. One of them, of course, Desperado, but the movie that did it for me, that made me truly a fan, was when he did From Dusk Till Dawn. Of course, with George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino. I was so here for it. I could say some other films. Of course, the most recent one I did see, honestly, was Alita Battle Angel. Love that. I really hope he does another one. And then, of course, other movies like Sin City, Planet Terror, Machete, just to name a few. So I heard this movie was in actual, production. It's called Hypnotic. And I'm excited because I'm feeling this cast. Let's just get into that. Let me just read what it says for the casting on this one. We have, of course, Ben Affleck. We have Alice Braga, fan of her, Hala Finley, and then we have a gentleman named Deo Okiniyi. I think he was in the Hunger Games, if I'm not mistaken. And then also, William Fichtner. Now, I'm a fan of William Fichtner. He's one of those actors who's been in so many films and definitely does TV. He was on the show Mom. I remember that. But one of the shows that truly had me engaged with him was when he was on the show Prison Break back in the day. Of course, definitely many of movies. Matter of fact, I just watched the movie the other day, Ultraviolet, with him and Milo Jovovich. And then, films like, 12 Strong. What's another one I'm trying to think? He did Black Hawk Down. He did another one I noted for myself, Blaze of Glory. And then, he does a little bit of everything. He definitely is on TV and movies, so you can't miss his. He has one of those faces. If you recognize him, you're like, oh, I think I've seen him in something. Truly fits that narrative. And this cast right here, I'm truly really looking forward to. Is that name of the film definitely right off the cuff. Now let's get into a little bit what they say with the actual synopsis. It says, Hypnotic follows a detective who becomes entangled in a mystery involving his missing daughter, which is Finley, and a secret government program while investigating a string of impossible high-end crimes. Now, another person who's in this, I didn't note, I don't know if I did say it, I think I did say it, Ben Affleck. So, yes, casting, I'm here for it. Director, I'm here for it. That body of work. So I already feel like I know we're in for a treat. And I can't say enough about this, but yes, I'm really looking forward to this. And like I said, I haven't seen anything recently from Rodriguez, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this. It doesn't note exactly. I don't see where I had to put in my notation where it states exactly, if we're going to definitely probably get this in theaters, most likely get in theaters and maybe in streaming too. Got to keep up on those now because sometimes they give you both options and sometimes they don't. Now, when the trailer comes out and I'm really feeling it, most likely I'll probably just go ahead and see this in theater. I'm gradually getting into theater for certain films, not everything. I'm not in back to normalcy yet. I don't think we'll ever really, truly will be. But as they say, pick and choose what I really want to see at the theater, and everything else, I just decide either if it's not streaming or I just wait for it to come out. We all have, choices to make in those options. So that's what it is. So with that said, when this one gives me any more details on it, if anybody else gets added to the actual cast, you want to know more, again, you will know more. This one is going to be starring Anna Klumsky. I'm excited for her. I loved her when she was on Veep. She was hilarious. Now, with this one, this is through Blumhouse. So right there, I was definitely a little intrigued because I'm feeling like, okay, they do a little bit of everything, but always on the side of where I like that they do horror. This is supposed to be a horror feature. Now, this one, they don't really give into it because it's right now no title for it, but it does state, it says, and it's going to be, what is this, in regards to a John Logan film, but it says feature directorial for him, and it says it's billed as an LGBTQIA plus an empowerment feature alongside already announced for the casting. We have Carrie Preston, we have Theo Germain, and we have Kevin Bacon. So with those four, I'm totally for it. especially when I hear Kevin Bacon's name, because I've been a fan from him since the early 80s. I want to say when I first initially saw him was definitely in Friday the 13th. And then, of course, when he did Footloose, and ever since Footloose, it was just like, okay, I'm just here for him, So when everybody do that 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, it is what it is. So this one, they don't really give us anything in regards to the overall narrative. It's just that little bit. So with that, when it says, the movie, which is set in a gay conversion camp, I was just like, okay, that's the only little bit that it gives us a tease. Okay, where are we going with this? But that right there, there's so many ways the story can truly go in regards to that being one of the main parts of the storyline. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more or hearing more and seeing who else is actually, as I state, casted. But I'm really going to need to see the trailer for this one. But that right there, and then putting this in regards to the horror genre, so yeah, I'm really want to know a little bit more about this one. So hopefully, if they decide to ask a little bit more, if they go into little details where they speak to, who's involved with the film, like the director, and they give us a little bit more, but sometimes, less is more. And when you get the trailer, hopefully we'll get enough in it, and hopefully don't give too much away. Sometimes these trailers are literally out of control with telling you everything. And then some people are like, well, hey, you saved me a ticket. That is true too. So moving on from that. So again, as I stated, when you know more, I'll let you know, guys. Now, this one, I'm truly intrigued with this particular film. This is through Netflix, and it is going to be definitely a comedy. It is going to be written by Kenya Barris, and Jonah Hill. So once I heard those two names, I already knew. Let me just note the cast, because that is why I'm really looking forward to seeing this. We're going to have in this film Eddie Murphy. We're going to have Julia Louis-Dreyfus. We'll have Sam J, Molly Gordon, David Duchovny, and Nia Long. And of course, I already said Jonah Hill. He's going to be a part of this. And I think I said Lauren London as well. Excuse me. Right there alone, I'm really, really intrigued to see what this is about. Now, since I said this is a comedy and it's going to be through Netflix, let me see what it gives in regards to the overall synopsis of this. It says the film follows a new couple, Hill and London, and their families, who find themselves examining modern love and family dynamics amidst clashing cultures, societal expectations, and generational differences. And you know what? That will be interesting and really refreshing, because you're getting to know different families. One family clearly black, one family's clearly white. Yeah, you got to learn about each other if you're going to be coming together like a blended family, whatever, and all that. Try to slowly work on embracing certain things you might not know, whatever, and learn some things and all that. There's nothing wrong with learning something you don't know about, take it all in. So, and with that fact of taking it all in, we'll get a little bit of, funny added to that. We'll probably some serious tone in that, which will probably be nice. So I'm curious, Eddie being probably Lauren London's, dad in this, whatever, Louis Dreyfus, might be the mom, whatever. I can only imagine what the trial's gonna be like. But that casting truly has me really intrigued, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this. Definitely with Eddie. Saw him, of course, recently Coming to America. We came back with that one. I was here for that. I know David Duchovny finished up a prequel for Pet Sematary. I'm looking forward to seeing that trailer. I'm looking, he's been busy on his end. Lauren London did Without Remorse, which was such a good film. Jonah Hill has Don't Look Up coming out with Leo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. So everybody's been busy. So I like this. And don't get me started with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I know she's, I'm interested in her character. If you all been watching with the Marvel stuff, whatever, playing Valentina. So I'm like, what you doing? You being, very secretive in her stuff on the show and then on Black Widow. So, but yes, but needless to say, I'm here for this cast. I'm here for this Netflix comedy. I'm looking forward to this. Doesn't state exactly when it's coming out. I'm figuring sometime definitely maybe spring of 2022. So this is in the beginning production. So at least we know who's casted, whatever, who's writing it. So that definitely lets me know it's going to be good. I feel very confident this will be a really good one. So I'm totally here for that. So moving on from that. Now this one, I'm most definitely looking forward to this one, because this one introduced me to a gentleman named Reggae Jean Page from Bridgerton. Now, this has to do with him being cast in a Netflix heist thriller, and it's through the Russo brothers. I'm excited about that. So with this one, I'm excited for him because, again, I wasn't so familiar, and I remember seeing him in the movie Mortal Engines, but I wasn't really paying attention. But once I saw him in Bridgerton, I was like, looking at his face, like, okay, I've seen him. Of course, he had the fake locks, whatever. But needless to say, he truly, put him out there, himself on the radar. He literally put himself out there, and I mean, figuratively, on the show, and left a good stamp on it. I was really bummed to hear he wouldn't be back in the new season, but he's moving on, spreading his wings. It's all great. He did, of course, that movie I saw him in, of course, Sylvie's Love, which he did with some other people like Tessa Thompson in that. So he's getting more work, and of course he did host SNL. That was really good, hilarious. So I'm happy for him. I will say this isn't the first thing he's actually working on. It's something else I'm really waiting to come out called The Gray Man, which is starring, what is it? I want to say Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. So he's in that as well. So he's already worked with the Russo brothers. So I love that, even though he did that, and definitely in a supporting cast. But with this one, a little bit more, in the lead aspect with it, which is going to be really nice. So I love that he's just getting more and more work, and we'll get to see him. That'll make up for him not being on Bridgerton. Let me just be honest. So, and in the way it ended, it's like his character is married, has a baby. Like, where is he supposed to be? But let me shut up. I pray, and I'm just going to put this out there into the sphere and hope it happens, whatever and all, and I move on. Hopefully back in season 3, he'll be back. I really pray, and with that, partly if he does come back, whatever and all, and make it worth his while, just make it happen, because I really like him to be back as a wife and to see him and his family and this whatever, and them doing what they normally do like they did in season 1. I'm just saying. So with that said, now also with this film, I hope we get a little bit more information on who else is actually cast as well, and a little bit more information in regards to the actual storyline. Right now, that's under wraps. So you know how the Russo brothers can be with some stuff. They don't want to just give you everything, and it's all good, because I love everything they're putting out. Everybody's still on that hype, from Avengers Endgame being so epic, whichever, and I can't even say enough about it because it really was good. So yes, I'm really looking forward to seeing this one, and I'm really looking forward to them dropping something for the Gray Man very soon. So with that said, moving on. Now, I've already talked about some other stuff that's coming up. Now we're getting to the reboot discussion, whatever, before I end this video. And I'll try to keep it short and sweet, try not to go into too much of a rant. The first reboot I'm hearing about, and I didn't know how to take it, but I did see a friend on Instagram who said his piece about it, and this has to do with the reboot for Hellraiser. Now, I will tell you this. I was not keen about it because I did hear it early on that they were going to do it, but I didn't know who was cast at the time, whichever. So I wasn't keeping up with it, probably being a little bit biased. I am a fan of the original, of course, starring Doug Bradley. And speaking of Doug Bradley, when he didn't come to the Monster Mania over here in Maryland a couple of weeks back, that hurt. That hurt something terrible, because I really was hyped to see him, but things happen. Needless to say, the person who's going to be featured, and let me get her name correctly, her name is Jamie Clayton. Now, with her, she was on the show since 8. I remember watching that show. I didn't watch her on the new, I think, the L Word Generations. I've never watched her on that show. So that, I do recognize her from that. So I was like, okay. Now, needless to say, I'm considering this because, honestly, nothing I can do about it. But secondly, Clive Barker is attached to this, in some ways. So I actually like that. So he can put a little bit of his, feelings into it. And they'll consider that because this is his baby. And with that, let me just note what they're stating in this one. I'm going to just go through the full name of the cast, and I'll probably put their picture somewhere up here as well for all the casting on this. The first person cast is Brandon Flynn. He was on the show 13 Reasons Why. We also have Goran Vinzhik. I hope I'm saying his last name correctly. My apologies. He was on the show The Boys, also one of my favorite shows, ER. We have Drew Starkley. He did the show Love, Simon, or the movie. I could be incorrect on which one it is. My bad. Adam Faison. Into the Dark, I remember that. And then we have I want to say Aoife Hines, who did Anne Boleyn. And then we have, what is it? I think Selena Lowe. And then we have Haim Abbas from Blade Runner 2049. I remember that. So that is the overall casting. I will say this. I'm not sure I'm trying to just figure out how this is overall is going to just turn out in the instance of this. But let me just kind of note what Bruckner said about this. And that's in regards to him being at the helm for this reboot. He says, "It's been such an honor to have Clive on board to help support and shepherd us through the incredible universe he created so long ago, combined with a fearless and committed cast, including the amazing Jamie Clayton, who fully embodies the role as the Hell Priest. We're aiming to create a very special new chapter in the Hellraiser legacy. It also states, from what Barker stated, he says, having seen some of the designs from David Bruckner's new Hellraiser film, they pay homage to what the first film created, but then take it to places it's never been before. This is a Hellraiser on a scale that I simply did not expect. David and his team are steeped in the story's mythology, but what excites me is their desire to honor the original even as they revolutionize it with a new generation. So with those two things stated for the statements, of course, you just leave open mind. I will say this. I'll use this as an example. When Evil Dead came out, the kind of reimage and remake, whatever, the one for 2013, wasn't sure to take it. When I saw that trailer, I was just like, wow. I'm like, okay, all right, Fede Alvarez did the damn thing, because a lot of us really were side eyeing, because it was just like the other ones with Sam Raimi, being at the helm, and of course the epicness of horror icon Bruce Campbell. It was just like, where could they go? How can they redo this? How can it be, done where you can see us being like, okay, I see what you're doing. All right, I like what you put out. But it really did. When I went to the theater, we were all in it, because I heard a couple people like, we gonna see what this is all about, whatever. Yeah, the trailer was all that, but we need to see, just the people muffling. But in the end, when it came on and we see things started happening, it was just like, okay. It was like, well, it was really well done. You heard people clapping at the end, whichever, so, it's a possibility. Being to the help that, the help priest will be the female, whatever, and all that, I'm not gonna hold that against, because that's not even an issue. It's just the fact that where they're going to go with this. I know with all the Hellraisers they had, the first two are my ultimate favorites, and they made a couple other ones where, I can, deal with them. But then once Doug Bradley stopped doing it, they brought some other gentleman in, whatever. Him being as Pinhead, you can't really factor in all, but you know his face enough to know that's not Doug Bradley playing Pinhead. So it kind of took a little bit away from it. So I just feel however the storyline is going to be definitely plays a part. And I'm going to be truly looking at that trailer like, okay, all right, show me something. I'm be honest with that, and I'm like, whether it look like I got attitude or not, I'm going to be just exactly like that. Show me something. I need to see it. And since Clive is giving his feelings on it, whatever, and all that, that gives me a little bit of feeling like, okay, this might be all right. All right, it is what it is. We are here, and they're gonna have to, because a lot of us truly love the original. So no pressure, as I always say with these reboots. It is just what it is, because I have to always be thinly with this, because not everything needs to be remade. I'm being honest, not everything needs to be remade. It's almost to the point where once it's, over 34 years, you feel like this need, for some nostalgia purposes and all that. But it's like, if you truly want to make a reboot or remake, whatever, not, make sure it's freaking good. I'll even say Hill Have Dives, when they did the other one, I think it was a 2007, whichever, trying to remember the year on it. That one was pretty damn good, more so than the original one. And I was like, okay, wow, so there's a couple, that fall through the cracks that, give truly my attention, so I can give it that, but not a lot. That's small minimum, because it's always individuals out here really thinking like they're going to be the ones that's going to just like, I like this more. It is what it is. Okay, I'm going to move on from that one. This is the last one. This one truly is a rant. This has to do with, of course, the reboot of The Lost Boys. So when I heard about this one, and I was talking to a friend on Twitter, and she was just like, I was just like, no, please, really? I'm like, oh God, really? You're really gonna remake that? I'm like, oh man. Now this one, of course, you all should already know, with the overall storyline, family moves to, California, area, and they're amongst, people come to find out they're dealing with a biker gang who happens to be vampires. Now, with this one, the cast, and really the cast is truly everything. Let's just be real. Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Patrick, Corey Haim, Corey Feldman. We have Billy Wirth, Alex Winter, Diane Wiest. I mean, that right there, Jamie Gertz, let me not leave her out of it. I love that film. That film is upstairs in my collection as we speak, and I will be watching it during 31 days of, of October, somewhere in the midst before the end of this, month. And I was just like, now I will say, when I saw certain individuals cast, let's just get into that part. Two people cast. There are already some individuals because they're kind of up and coming, but they're putting out some good work as of right now. I want to say Noah Jupe. He did, of course, A Quiet Place 2. And then you have Jaden Martel. I already talked about him earlier in this video. He was, of course, in It. Now, both Noah and Jaden have been together because they did the first It together. Of course, Noah's character was the younger brother. It's just going to be really interesting to me, in regards to that. They're claiming the director for this one, his name is Jonathan Entwistle. I'm not familiar with any of his work. So, truly going in fresh mind with him as the director. And again, with this, no pressure, bro, because there's a lot of people I do follow, and none of them are not feeling it at all. I saw the other parts of the casting with this, and I might put their other faces, some other people I think are cast on this, but when I see them, it's just like, they truly do look rather, really, really young looking. I need to see the rest of the cast. I'm not even going to lie. I want to see if they're going to showcase, if they're doing exactly similar in regards to certain casting, like, with the biker gang, whatever, and all that, who's going to be playing a female character against maybe the older brother. I need to see all of it. Right now, they're not going into too much, detail in regards to this and just stating, but it's just, them noting that, they're just saying, and I want to just note what it say, this movie is finally remembered for its young and sexy cast as a soundtrack. And it is true, but they don't really go into detail as to, what does he feel like as a director? Is he going to bring to this? It's going to be something fresh, whatever, and all that. I'm thinking more so along the lines of making it more modernized, for our area, being, present day, then, that's pretty much what it is. But, hopefully, like I always state, when they talk to the directors with certain things upcoming, if they're already working on some other things and it comes up in a question, then they'll kind of go in a little bit more detail as to, what led them to want to pick this particular film, this is in the works, or whoever the film company, whatever, chose to want to do a reboot, and they pick this director. What is it about their work that they feel like they can do to bring to this? But that first one still is just straight perfection. I mean, there's nothing else you can clearly tell me, in regards to this. Now, I will say this. The other two that came out, what was it? Lost Boys, The Tribe, and Lost Boys, The Thirst. I wasn't feeling those two. I had no desire to. Those were mostly, straight to video. I just love the original first one. So I don't know what to think in regards to how this is going to truly turn out, but this is one of those ones where, again, I need to see the whole cast and I need to see that trailer. And that's going to be honestly the deciding factor. And I'm trying to keep open mind, but it's hard with this one. I mean, I'm not even going to lie, because that truly is one of my ultimate favorites to watch, vampire film, whichever, and all that, and just overall casting, because a lot of those people who are in this cast, I have so many other films that they're in, that I have in my collection that I love. So, definitely, definitely a fave, definitely a little biased. I'm not even going to lie. So I'm really looking forward to you all commenting on how you feel about me talking about that and Hellraiser and what you think about that, because I keep saying it. It really is hard, because it's like, I don't want to put, my foot in my mouth talking about overall remake and reboots, but I always say not everything truly needs to be remade. And then when these people do it, it's almost like a little bit of me really thinks, when they're doing it, they really feel like they can bring it into, modern day, but sometimes it can fall short. So I really hope that the guy did look at the original again, getting a little bit of a sense to have it somewhat like this, to the point where he can, but I just don't know. I really don't know. I think just seeing the really, like I said, the cast and all that, and then checking out whatever they give us. Hopefully this comes out next year with the trailer, so we can kind of see what's really going on, to see, okay, all right, the trailer, I'm intrigued, and don't, I mean, we know what the overall storyline is, whatever, so it's not like you're giving anything away, if any, but then you have to remember, a lot of these little young bucks now probably never seen the original, and some of them don't even want to, but it's like, no, take the time. So when you wonder why people are, feeling a certain way, yeah, do your due diligence. So with that said, you guys, that is it. So as I always say, comment below anything I discuss. I'd love to know your feedback and your thoughts on that. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next movie news. You guys take care.